Welcome back to the chapter Elements of Effective Communication. Starting with the first one, that is approach. Here, in approach, we need to keep in mind that timing and choice of medium are appropriate to the purpose, audience, and material. Tone has to be very appropriate to the purpose, audience, and material. Here, material has to be made with relevance to the reader, which means reader's interests and concerns has to be recognized. Conclusions are presented directly, that is, conclusion first and evidence last, to a sympathetic audience indirectly, where we have to take into consideration evidence first and conclusion last, to a unsympathetic or hostile audience. Lastly, persuasive strategy incorporates a mixture of rhetorical approach, which means appeals to logic, feelings, and ethics or credibility has to be taken under consideration. Now, coming to the second approach, that is development. Here, material has to be arranged in a logical and coherent sequence. Conclusion or closing restates the argument and identifies the action that has to be taken. Examples has to be very relevant, specific, detailed, sufficient, and persuasive. Quotation supports the argument. We have to keep this statement in mind. And handling the material which demonstrates knowledge and insight. Coming to the third element, which is clarity. Now, clarity has to be very much significant. Purpose or central ideas is sufficiently limited for meaningful discussions. Purpose or central idea is stated clearly, that is usually done in the opening. Organizational statement is offered usually at the end of the opening. Subordinate ideas are effectively identified and related clearly to the main purpose or central idea. Language has to be very clear, specific, accurate, and appropriate to the audience, purpose, and materials. Technical languages and terms has to be defined and explained if needed. Sentences has to be free of ambiguity. Text has to be coherent with new information linked to previously discussed information. And transitions between paragraphs has to be very clear and helpful. Fourthly, that is style. Now, style or word choice is economical, clear, specific, accurate, unassuming, and free of misused jargons. Actions has to be taken where verbs are preferred over weak verbs with nominalization, which means recommendations has to be made over to make a successful communication. Language has to be appropriately concrete or abstract. It needs to signify or even not to signify things that can be perceived by the senses. Figurative language such as metaphors or similes as well as other tropes and schemes enriches and deepens the argument, which I believe has to be ignored in order to make a effective communication. And variety in sentence structure and sentence length creates emphasis, which we always need to keep in mind that we have to make the sentence short, simple, and sweet. And authors value personality and when appropriate humor are conveyed in a way that reinforce the messages lasts a remaining effect to the receiver's mind. Fifthly, correctness. Here it includes spellings, including technical terms and proper names, which are correct. Correct words are used to convey the intended meaning. Rules of grammars and syntax are followed, including pronoun noun argument, subject verb agreement, appropriate verb, possessive forms, parallel constructions, and so on. And punctuations are very important, and we need to keep that in mind. Particularly, comma placements reflects standard languages. Hope this is understood by you all. Thank you.